Hello everyone, welcome back to Sink or Swim Garage. On this episode, we're going to be finishing up on this 1998 Chevy S10. And stay to the end of the episode because I want you guys' input on what do you think that this truck is worth when we get it totally done for a fair asking price. So what we're going to do on this episode is we're going to finish this truck completely and get it done. So what that means is it's got to have the bed liner put in it, the tonneau cover compounded and buffed out because it's a little dingy and faded. We're going to do that. We're going to get it back on here. We're going to put the gold pinstripe back on here. And we're going to put the moldings back on the bottom. These are the moldings right here we're going to be using. They're the ones came off. Managed to take them off without breaking anything or tearing anything. So we're going to put these moldings back on. And what we're going to use for this is this 3M two-sided tape. It's a little wider than what I normally would use for these moldings, but we're going to make this work. So let's go ahead and let's get into this thing and get it done. And we're also going to paint the tailgate on this episode. So we're going to get that done and painted, and that'll be the very last thing we do. We'll get it painted, get it snapped on there real quick, and then we'll go over the numbers, and you guys tell me what you feel is a fair price. So what we're going to do is, these are the moldings, or one of the moldings. We're going to take a razor blade and we're going to take the heat gun, and I'll do all this, in fast forward mode so you guys don't have to watch everything, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of what we're doing. We're going to kind of heat this up a little bit. This is the factory sticky stuff right here that's on there. It's like two-sided tape almost, but it's something else. It's actually really good stuff. Well, we're going to kind of heat it up, and I'm going to take the razor blade and kind of flatly scrape along it here to where we can get it where there's not so many jagged edges on it. And then we'll clean it really good, and we'll put the two-sided tape on, and then we'll stick the moldings on. And then once we do that, we'll go ahead and get the pinstripe on. So we'll do all that on film. So stay with me and don't go nowhere. Well, we got one down, one to go.
Please, oh please, won't you stick around?
So we got them both ready to go. We got two-sided tape on them. I kind of got to trim around the edges there just a little bit. But we're going to go ahead, peel the red off, and speed the thing up again. We'll get the moldings on, and then I'll stop it, and we'll start going with the pinstripe. Stay tuned.
I don't want to say goodbye when the sun goes down. I want to keep you close, want to hold you tight.
So we got the moldings on, front and back there. You got to let them dry. I'm going to put the heat on them here in a minute, let the heat lamp get on them. But we got them both on. So now what we're going to do is set the camera up in a different spot. Actually, I don't know. I might leave it where it's at. Get some better lighting over here so you guys can see. What we're going to do is we're going to take that pinstripe. This is the only way I know how to do this. We're going to take that pinstripe, and I'm going to go from right here across here with that pinstripe and try to run it across the best I can to get a perfect line. And you got to be this bed kind of like on the edges where it kind of rolls down at. It's going to be kind of hard because you kind of got to go midways and then kind of lower it down a little bit because it's got like a funny tail fin design at the end. But we'll get it. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. And I'll get you guys on the mode again, and we'll go ahead and get the pinstripe on. So we'll be right back. Let's get started. So before we put the pinstripe on, I'm going to take some of this glass cleaner, and I'm going to spray it on the side of the bed. And if there's anything on there, hopefully we get it off. And the pinstripe sticks pretty good. So let's go ahead and spray this baby, see what happens. So what we're going to do with this pinstripe is before, like I said, I'm going to hook it in the front and try to run a line down. So this is going to be comical. I think I've only pinstriped probably 3 cars my entire life since I was maybe like 15, 16 years old. Let's see how I do, right? All we can do is try. Because back in the day, pinstriping was a big thing. Everybody put pinstripe on their car. So let's see how we do. I can't seem to get the end of it off to get to even stick. So I don't know. This might be a long video here. This is crazy. I can't even get this thing undone to even get it to stick. So I don't know. I'd say some of this pinstripe is probably pretty old, you know, being that they haven't used this stuff in forever anymore. There we go. All right. So we're cooking with gas now. We're getting somewhere here. This is going to be a fabulous job. Fabulous job. This is going to be. All right, here we go. All righty. It's already getting out of hand on us, people. It's already getting out of hand. You can already tell. It's about to go on a wild ride. We're about to lose all this pinstripe. You know what's crazy is we still got to stripe the front fender. So I don't know about this, guys. I don't know. Oh my God. Mamma mia. This is not looking good. This is not looking good at all. It's not sticking. It's not doing nothing. I guess maybe I didn't push it hard enough, I guess. My goodness. Getting too far ahead of myself, I think. Getting too far ahead of myself here. Pinstripe rolls unraveling and everything else. Oh, wow. This is not looking good. This is not looking good at all. Wow. This stuff is crazy. This stuff is insane. It like just keeps unraveling. I can't hold on to it. Oh my God. Little ridiculous. Little ridiculous. Come on. They would have fired me in the 90s or the 80s. I would have been fired. They would have been like, hey, get your stuff and get out of here. We no longer need you anymore. Oh wow, it's just pulling right back off. Wow, this actually literally fell off. Wow, this is great. I don't know. I think I like it. I think it's okay. It's probably like this. Obviously, I got to cut it off somewhere with an angle or something, but it looks really straight, though. It looks pretty good, actually. I think we're going to rock it, man. I think we're going to be okay with it. You'll see it once I cut it. We'll go down the side of it and you guys tell me what you think. I remember years ago, I had back then we bought a lot of G-bodies from Kentucky and stuff. Like my dad's partner and him, we always went to London, Kentucky to the auction down there. And we always got like old cars, you know, like all the time, like Monty SS's and Buick Regals and Grand Prix and Malibus and Cutlasses and just anything and everything in that era, you know. And I remember we would do paint jobs in my dad's shop and stuff. And his partner was really good at this pinstriping and like putting everything on, like the stripes we used to put on those trucks and stuff back then in the 80s. The 80s and 90s were like really famous for like big stripes on your trucks and stuff, you know. And I would watch that. My dad's partner, everybody would be talking, you know, like all frustrating him, and he would have the pinstripe in his mouth, and he'd be looking down the car, and everybody would be hollering in the background, "Can you do this? Can you do that?" And I mean, he was calm as can be, and I'm just like, that's crazy how good he was at. Man, those older guys, man, they could just sit there and just be steady as can be and get it done. It was just awesome. So I don't know. I think that might work out. It looks pretty. It looks pretty straight. It really doesn't look that bad. I'll get the camera down. We'll shoot it down the sides. See what you guys think. I'll get the razor blade, kind of cut the ends off of it. I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna leave it. So just stick with me and don't go nowhere. We'll see if we can't get it tidied up. Be right back. All right. What do you guys think? It seems like it looks pretty good. I kind of cut it off right here like on an angle, you know. But if you look down it, I mean, it looks pretty straight. I don't know. It seems like it does, so. It seems like it looks pretty straight. Kind of matches up with that one right there. So, we got the moldings on. We got the pinstripe on. Now we'll come back in and we'll get the bed liner in and we'll start buffing out the tonneau cover so that we can get it back on there. And then we just got to go over the whole truck. It'll be detailed, ready to go. Interior's all done. We have to paint the tailgate. So we'll be on that after we get the bed liner in, tonneau cover on. We'll jump on that tailgate, hurry up and sand it down. Go 400 dry, 600 dry, and we'll go 800 wet. And then hopefully we don't have any bad spots on the gate and we can hurry up and get it done. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned. We're back. We got the tonneau cover in here. As you can see, it's seen better days. It's it's really oxidized. I kind of did a little area right here. It still needs to be buffed a little more. I just kind of quickly went over it. I had to buy a new buffing pad. The one over here in the floor I threw down. It's seen better days. So that one ain't gonna work no more. So we'll get the new one on here, make it better than what it is. This fiberglass tonneau cover is kind of like a boat where they got the gel coat on them. If you don't stay on them, wax them, buff them, you know, I got a boat, so everybody out there that's got boats understands it's a full-time job keeping those things looking good. So this is what we're dealing with. This is how rough it looks all over. That's just some of the extra compound that was on it. You can see all the scratches in there and all the weathering and stuff. So I'm going to try to buff out this whole thing and try to get it looking way better than it does. But there's an issue with the tonneau cover and the bed liner. So let me spin the camera around and we'll discuss it really quick, and then we'll speed the camera up and we'll hurry up and get this done. I was going to put the bed liner in the truck and then put the tonneau on top of it. The issue I'm having with putting this over top of the bed liner is on the front of the bed liner, it has like a lip that goes over the bed off the bed liner. And this tonneau will not lay flat with that on there. It'll kind of be like, it'll have a gap on the sides, you know. I think I'm going to leave the bed liner out and then just kind of put the tonneau cover on and just give them the bed liner with the truck. That way, if they decide they want to take it off and kind of butcher it and cut it up and put it back in, that's fine. I just didn't want to do that. It needs to be butchered up pretty good. It's the right bed liner for the truck. It came out of the bed that I bought from Tennessee. But to put this tonneau on top of it, it's just going to look kind of, you know, funny looking, and I really don't want to do that. But if somebody else can kind of alter it a little bit, make it nice, you know, that's cool, but I don't want to be that guy. So I'm going to go ahead, get this done on camera. We'll speed it up, and then we'll get on the tailgate. So let's start buffing this thing out. We'll be using that one-step McGuire's 50% grit compound again. I use this for my boat like we did on the hood in the other video for the truck. So we're going to use this, and then we're going to polish it out and wax it. Hopefully we'll be good. So this is what we're going to use right here for the compound process.
When the sun goes down, I want to keep you close, want to hold you tight. I don't ever want to say goodnight, but you stick around. An hour or two will never be enough to be with you. Whenever you leave me longing and blue. Please, oh please, won't you stick around? Spare just a little time, don't go running around. I want to keep you close.
if you ever got any kind of overspray on your car from the body shop, if they've ever did any work on it, go get you a clay bar. You got overspray on the windows, it'll even work for the body. Like if they painted, a lot of times if they paint, say, the driver's side of your car, the right side more than likely will have overspray all over. So you go through and rub your car after it comes out of the body shop, you'll feel overspray on it. Or if they did a good job, make sure they taped it off right, you won't have that. But if you do, you take this clay bar, McGuire sells them, anybody sells them, buy them probably off Amazon. Take a clay bar and some water, just hold it in your hand like so, just wet it and go over all the spots that has like that rough grime on it, and you'll see it start to come off. And when it does, you can just wax it and it'll look perfect. Be smooth and slick as the rest of the car will. So keep that in mind if you got an overspray problem. So let's go ahead and get the buffer back on, speed you guys back up. We'll be right back.
Wanna hold you tight. I don't ever wanna say goodnight, but just stick around.
Alright, you can see the difference between here and here. We'll spray some of this McGuire's detailer wax on it. We're going to clay bar it, get some of this crap off of it. Can you hear that? That's how rough it is. That's how rough the finish is on it. It's cutting all that debris off of it. It'll make it a lot easier for the buffer to kind of cut all this off. I should have did that side in the beginning, but I didn't. It would have made it a lot easier to buff that out. We'll see if this side looks better than that side, because we use this clay bar on here. I like to try to make it look as nice as I possibly can, so I think it'll look good. We get it all. Get this clay bar on here, get it all wiped down, we'll compound it, polish it. We still got to polish that side. I think we'll be good. So I'll speed the camera back up, and I'll hurry and get this compounded, and we'll be right back.
Stick around. Well, if you leave, don't leave it oh so long. Come on back where you know you belong. When we're apart, how I long for you. You stole my heart, don't you ever say we're through. Please, oh please, won't you stick around. Spare just a little time, don't go running around. I wanna keep you.
Alright, I went ahead, put some polish on it. It's got some stuff on top of it, I don't know what it is, but it's gonna have to do. So we'll wipe it down, I'll get the camera down, we'll take a look at it. There's something on this. I'll show it to you on camera. And you gotta think, we're underneath these lights right now, so we're gonna see everything. Outside, you probably won't see a lot of this, but I try to make it as perfect as I can. I mean, it came out decent, but I mean, this thing is probably pretty old. They probably never waxed it. And you can clearly tell that something has gotten on there. It's almost like a tree sap or something, is what I'm guessing, so I don't know. But we're gonna rock it and leave it the way it is. And if any of you out there buy these sawhorse from Harbor Freight, these little metal ones, in my opinion, they're garbage. They're all right if you're doing something little, but to do something a little heavier, they seem like they're not stable at all. They make a lot of racket too, not to mention. So let's take a look at it, see what we got. All right, so you remember before what it looked like. This is what it looks like now. I mean, it looks better than what it was. I noticed right here, it's got a little bit of cracking. If you look right here, it's got some fiberglass cracking like the paint and stuff. But I mean, it shines. It shines, so it looks better than it did. But I wish it would came out better than this, but it'll have to do. So let's go ahead. I'll finish this up and I'll bring you back on and we'll get on that tailgate and get this truck painted. I mean, get the tailgate painted, that is, and we'll get this thing done and do a final walk around on it and go over the numbers. So stay tuned and we will be right back. So we got the tailgate in here now. A lot of bad spots on here. What we're going to try to do, I went ahead and D8'd it off camera. D8 sanded it. I'm going to rough this part in, these edges and stuff by hand. Excuse me. It's about 10:30 right now, so we've been hard at it pretty much all day. We'll get this roughed in. I'd like to try to prime this tonight. That way we can kind of flip it over, rough in the jams in here and the back side, get it ready, and then we can flip it back over, kind of focus on this. It's got some huge dents up in here. I don't know if I really have the time to fix every single one of them on here. I got new tires that just came in right there for two different vehicles. So I got like 5 cars to try to build that's wrecks in like 3 weeks. So I got to get this truck out of here. I'd like to do a perfect job on it, but I just don't see it happening. We're kind of behind schedule right now. Tax season's here. It's always nice to breathe the dust in your nostrils, you know. But tax time's here, and a lot of people want to buy cars right now, so I got to get these cars fixed. There's like 4 or 5 wrecks over at the other property that got dropped off that we haven't even started on them yet. So let's go ahead and I'll rough this in, and we'll speed the camera up, and we'll come back and hopefully we get this primed tonight. We'll be right back.
Summer's night, Lord, we couldn't close our eyes.
All right, we got it pretty much sanded. I know you're supposed to use a block when you go over spots like that. I did it with my hand, as you can see. All I'm trying to do is, because I went with 180 on some of these spots, I went back with 320 just to kind of rub some of the marks out of it. That way when I prime it, I can see everything, and you know what I mean? I'll try to cover those sand marks up, because once you do the 180 and you prime over it, you know, then you got to sand into that primer to get those marks back out. So I was trying to get them out right now, with just kind of going over them really quick. That way they're not showing up so bad in the primer. We're going to prime this, but we're not going to be able to do it tonight. We'll do it tomorrow. I got the tractor in here, and I got 2 cars out in front of the door, so I'd have to move them, and the whole driveway is ice right now because we had an ice storm, I guess. So we'll probably have to wait till tomorrow to prime this now, because I don't want to prime it with the tractor in here and those new tires. And then we'll come back on and we'll get this tailgate painted finally and get this truck done. So see you guys in the morning. We're ready to start blocking out the tailgate. I apologize for the heater running in the background. I promise you guys on the next video it'll be better sound quality, because it's winter and I need to get a microphone to kind of hang from me or something so it's more clear. That heater like distorts everything. It's so loud. So We're going to be using this DuraBlock today and 600 dry sandpaper. We're going to block this out and get this done. We'll fast forward mode it, and then when we come back on, we'll be prepping it. We should be ready to paint. So stay tuned and let's get blocking this out.
It was a hard summer night. Lord, we couldn't close our eyes.
We pretty much got it blocked out. I got to take the paper off and do the edges by hand, and kind of like in here a little bit where the tailgate handle is, because you can't really get to it with this big block. So I'll stop it here and bring you back on. We'll start spraying. Stay tuned. All right, so we got the tailgate ready, got it all sanded. We got 2 dents in this gate. There's one right in here somewhere. So when we paint it, you guys will see it. There's one little tiny one right in here, and the other one is really obvious. It's right here. It's a little dent right here. I'm not gonna, by the time I take my time and fix all that, I mean, like I said before, this is not a $10,000 truck, so we're not gonna worry too much about it. Let's go ahead. We got the tailgate ready, so let's go ahead. This is the paint we're gonna use. Like before, we already kind of filmed it already, but it's Victory Red. It's PPG shop line. So we're gonna get it all mixed up, and then I can't find my little camera case that I put my phone in to record while I'm painting, so that kind of sucks because I try to film me painting for you guys, but I mean, I know you see a lot of the paint videos on YouTube, but I try to record everything I do. But I'm gonna look for it for a few more minutes, and if I can't find it, then I'll just turn you back on. We'll have it painted, but I'm gonna try to find it, so we'll be right back. Well, I can't find the camera case nowhere. I don't know what I did with it, so I guess when we turn you back on, we'll have the tailgate painted and we'll get this truck done. But this is a nice red. This Victory Red, it's a nice looking color. I would definitely paint an old school car with that color for sure. But it's brutally cold here, so I don't know how this is gonna go. It's like, we're supposed to get a lot of snow today, and if it snows, if it stays this temperature, it's going to be ice skate. Like, it's going to be very nasty. So let's go ahead and get this thing painted, and hopefully we don't get no runs. So we'll see you guys in a minute. All right, you guys, we got it sprayed. Got a couple nibs in it here and there, but it looks pretty good. So you can see them. There's a couple little nibbies in there, but we'll buff them out and wet sand them. It's just really hard when you're over here painting in this garage. You ain't really got much room. So we'll go ahead, let this thing dry off, and we will see what else we can get done. So this thing's definitely, as cold as it is, it's going to be a while on this thing before it gets ready and bowed on. So I'll show you that dent that's in there if you can see it. It's a little ding somewhere. But there it is. See it? See that little gravel dent in there on top right there? The lights pick up everything. So, but it's all good. We'll make it work. So, all right, we'll be back and we'll get the truck back together. So stay tuned. We got to get the tailgate back on. We just painted it, obviously. I ordered new straps for the tailgate. When you lower it down, it's got those straps on the side. I ordered those new. And everything else is pretty much done. So this is what we got. So this is what we ended up with. There's one more issue right here that we got to address. Snap that back in. That's on there. So we got to get that snap back into there. But we painted the fender. We got the bed painted. We buffed the hood out. If you remember, this hood was all kind of oxidized really bad, so we got the hood buffed out. How does my pinstripe job look? I mean, it doesn't appear to be crooked, but you know how that goes. Hopefully it's okay. But as you can see, you can barely see it starting to snow. We just made it in time, but look at the driveway. It's solid ice. It's solid ice, the whole thing. So I'm gonna get this back in the garage and get the hot water hooked to the hose in there and give it a good wash and a wax. As you can hear it, it runs pretty good. So let me give you a look at the interior. I know you already saw it, but the floor mat's a little dirty right here, but there's no check engine lights on, anything like that. Oil pressure's good. Everything works. Air condition, heat, everything works good. So let me spin their camera around here real quick. So let me know what you guys think it's worth. Leave some numbers on the bottom. I got a price in mind. I want to see what you guys got to say. See what you say about it. So it's got 91,000 miles, 4.3 V6. Everything works. Cruise control, air, tilt, radio. I don't know if the cassette deck works or not, but let me know what you guys think. How did we do, and what kind of numbers should we put on this to get it up for sale? See you guys on the next one. Sink or Swim Garage.